Good day, everyone. Welcome to today's show. We are getting into a exciting subject today that I just discovered. It's called wise feedback. And we're sharing this in the context of what we started yesterday with You Did It, focusing on what you have accomplished and how we can speak to ourselves and give ourselves feedback that is from a place of wisdom. So let's get started with the show. Welcome, everyone. I am Rev Melissa. This is Morning Sip with Rev Melissa. SIP stands for Spirit in Practice, where we practice because practice makes progress. Yes, it does. So, welcome, everyone. I hope you're doing well. Today's show is pre recorded. So, please still put in your comments. Please let me know how you're doing. Let me know if you gave someone some feedback about how you feel about them. And if you took me up on my challenge to reach out to someone who knows you well and ask them to share with you all the reasons why they think you are an awesome person, why they love you, why they are so grateful that you are on the planet. Did anyone do that yet? You still have time. The challenge is this week. This is this week's challenge as we dive into our series, You Did It. You did it. Yes, you did this. So this was inspired by my girls. I shared yesterday that we picked them up from college. They completed their freshman year, and Zola was focusing a lot on how she could have done better. And she was a little bit in the dumps when I went to pick her up, and was kind of like turning the corner into the sunshine. But, and that's okay, right? It's okay to get in a funk sometimes. It's okay. But we don't want to live there. We don't want to make that our address, right? So there are things that we can do for ourselves, and there are things that we could do for each other to support ourselves and just being in that space of celebration and accomplishment for the things that we have done, for the progress that we have made. So we spend a lot of time, and I think sometimes too much time, dumping on ourselves about what we didn't do and what we could have, would have, should have done, and all of that stuff. And if we wallow in there for too long, you're going to find yourself feeling blue, feeling blue. And that voice of self-criticism, mine, I call Melody. Hey, Melody, how you doing, girl? Melody pops up and she's very critical. She's very critical. She has a range of being very critical and then being very she'll like speak like she's on my side and that she's supporting me, but that's not really what she's doing. That's not really what she's doing. I know somewhere along the line there's something behind all of that. You got this, girl. Yeah, I see you. Hmm. There's something lurking there. I've known her all my life. And I recognize her strategies, right? We recognize our ego strategies, especially. So I wanted to offer in SIP this week an opportunity for us to just be in relationship with ourselves and relationship with others from a higher perspective, from a loving perspective, from a joy perspective, from an honest perspective. Because I'm not saying blow smoke up your butt at all. It's very important that we are honest with ourselves and to also see ourselves through the lens of grace, through the lens of compassion, right? So I mentioned yesterday that I've been introduced to this concept that's been around for quite some time, but I just learned of it from Bob Roth when he was doing one of his 5-minute talks before we do our transcendental meditation. And what I learned is something called wise feedback. Have you heard of this? Wise feedback. So it's a psychological intervention that is being used more in learning situations. So especially in colleges, but also in the lower grades, let's just say through school. Many teachers, professors are starting to use this approach with students. And it is also a powerful approach that we can use with ourselves. Many couple counselors are now counseling their clients to use the wise feedback approach in relationships. So it used to be, what was popular was the sandwich compliment. You know, you say something positive and then you tell them what the real deal is. And it's usually something that you want them to work on. And then you end it with another compliment, right? That's the sandwich approach. But now they're seeing challenges in that approach, because as human beings, we have a tendency to tune into the negative and tune out the positive. So although in a sandwich compliment, there's 2 positives and 1 negative, most people zoom in on the negative. So this psychological approach is being, let's say, evolved to something called wise feedback. And so I'm bringing this forward in the context of celebrating ourselves, in the context of really sitting with yourself when you do stuff, when you move from point A to point B, celebrate that, even if it's just a small step, to just encourage ourselves, and to break the habit of focusing on the negative with ourselves and with other people. So let me share a little bit about what I've discovered about wise feedback. So wise feedback is honest and deeply encouraging. It's a psychological intervention to motivate learning. So this is especially gaining traction in learning environments. It's also a form of self-coaching, right? How we speak to ourselves, how we relate to ourselves, right? It supports reducing self-doubt. And I like to say it supports reducing beating ourselves up about stuff. And it fosters growth. So it's all about moving from harsh self-criticism to constructive action. So give yourself that 1 or 2 minute pity party, or take the day and be under the covers if that's what you need to feel your feelings. No one's saying, and I would never say to not feel your feelings. I would never say to fake it. What I'm saying is feel your feelings and use this approach to support yourself in moving forward with compassion. Yes? So it provides a great sense of love and support. It conveys high expectations. And I appreciate this, because I'm not saying to lower your expectations. Have high expectations for yourself, but also show that you believe in yourself. That's what wise feedback does. It says, I know and I believe in you, and I know that you have all that you need within you to be successful, to move forward, to accomplish this. I know it. So it conveys high expectations while also showing you that you believe in yourself. And if you're sharing or giving wise feedback to someone else, it's also demonstrating that you believe in them as well. So wise feedback is a way to provide some correction without crushing yourself, right? Don't crush. Don't crush yourself. Don't crush yourself. We can correct, we can course correct, we can see where we may have made an error and we may have even failed. And that is okay because we are in a growth mindset, we are in a growth environment. That is what we are co creating with and for ourselves. So it's not about crushing ourselves, it's about just some love, support, and correction. So that is wise feedback. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. I am giving you a sip. And we're going to continue because I also want to share some of the research that is coming up in neuroscience about how the brain responds to wise feedback versus criticism versus even the sandwich compliment. The brain is responding in a very different way when we engage in a practice of wise feedback. And who better to practice this with than with ourselves? To practice giving ourselves wise feedback by being honest and deeply encouraging with ourselves. Telling ourselves, I believe in you. I know that you have everything that you need to move forward. That feels much better than, look at you, you messed up again. You can't get anything right. What's wrong with you? Oh, that just hurts the heart. That just hurts the heart. So let's practice wise feedback. When we do the things that we do, let's give ourselves some wise feedback. All right, y'all. So we will continue the You Did It series tomorrow. I'll share some more information about the brain and how it responds to wise feedback. And now let's get into some joy news. So, as I said, today's show is pre-recorded because I have an appointment with Marco, and I wanted to share this information. And so for some joy news, I just want to share that we are approaching the weekend. But before I go there, I just want to shout out to everyone who attended last night's first spiritual living book study of our new book, Manifesting the Practical Simple Guide to Creating the Life You Want. And it's by our friend, Chris Ferraro. She is a practitioner at Rockland CSL. It is not too late to join the book study. Chris is guiding us through this journey of her book, and it is amazing to go on this journey with the author. So you can scan the QR code that you see, and the Zoom link is there, or you can go to rocklandcsl.org, and all of the information is there under Community Cafe. And if you decide to join us next week, let me tell you what you missed yesterday. So what you need to do is to read the first page 1 through 22. That's part of the introduction section. We're not reading the whole introduction section. We're just reading up to page 22. And then you're going to skip forward and you're going to fill out the contract. So we're making a commitment here, right? So there is a contract on page 41 through 44 that you will read, and you will put in what you are making a commitment to as we go through this journey of manifesting. So we had a wonderful turnout yesterday. We are inviting you to join us for one more week So you have time to do the reading and be with us on Wednesdays, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. All right. This Sunday, we continue our May theme, which is divine doubt. And I love this theme. And this Sunday, we are in person. We're in person for our collaborative service with the Universalist Congregation of Rockland, Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Rockland County. And that is in Pomona, New York. I'm talking way too much. Just scan the QR code or go to rocklandcsl.org, and all of the information for our Sunday service is there. rocklandcsl.org. I will be speaking this Sunday. We are in person, so please join us. Please join us. All right, y'all. So that's all I'll share today. We will continue with our journey through You Did It. I encourage you to reach out to someone who loves you and ask them just to share what they love about you, to highlight some of your beautiful qualities, and you can do the same for someone else. All right? All right, y'all. I'll see you tomorrow live. So peace and blessings, everybody. Peace and justice. We are living life in joy, connected to our yes.